So the concept for stigmas and stereotypes actually came from a listener. So big up you, Shrikar. So in this segment, we'll be going through some of the more prevalent stereotypes within society and discussing whether they're generally true or not. So just a heads up before we inevitably get cancelled, this chat isn't that deep and stereotypes are just a sweeping generalization. So just take it easy when you try to cancel our podcast. So the first few we've actually got from Shrikar, they're Australian-based stereotypes. So the first one he submitted are Indian teachers always help Indian kids more or similar ethnicities.
That's 100% true. That is 100% true. It has to be. I've got a personal experience from math in year 11. We had an Indian teacher as well. I think, bro, were you in my class?
Yeah,
I think
I was.
so. Yeah. And she did help me a lot, and parent-teacher interviews as well. She went nice when I was inherently wrecked by my tests. So I think there's a clear bias there.
So if you think you were a white male, she wouldn't have gone as easy.
Yeah,
No, because that teacher, she knew, she's a parent herself. She knows, the beating that you'll get at home if you were to get a bad, report card or, the parent-teacher interviews. Like, I remember I have nightmare stories about my parent-teacher interviews. Like, I come home and it was the same thing, like doesn't take pride in his work, doesn't try hard, talks too much, like all that stuff. And my parents just look at me with that disapproving look. They're like, son, you've got to be better. Yeah, exactly.
Why are you the way that you are?
I've got a story about parent-teacher interviews. It hasn't got anything to do with stereotypes, but it's just a funny little thing. Our economics teacher in year 11, for some reason or other, I told her my mom was Chinese during class. And obviously, as idiotic 17-year-olds do, everyone backed me up. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And that went on for a few months. And it comes to the parent-teacher interviews. And then my dad goes, and she's talking to the teacher. And then at the end, he says, "Oh, how's your Chinese wife going?" And my dad just looks at her. My dad's like, "Sorry?" He's like, yeah, Sen told me your wife was Chinese. I think that's pretty cool. And my dad is just like, "What the fuck are you guys going on about?" And then, yeah.
A classic gag.
Oh, Sani. So we're saying that one's true, boys.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one he submitted was, all Asian parents, including brown parents, want their kids to be doctors. So in our little friendship group, we know a few people that are studying medicine.
And they happen to be Asian.
I don't think they were pushed to be doctors.
Yeah.
To be perfectly frank.
Yeah.
I think it's sort of like subliminal marketing when you grow up. Like, it's this idea that, doctor is there. It's the big daddy. It's the big dog one.
I'm sure that's pushed by the parents, no?
Yeah, but like I'm saying, it's all subliminal, It's there, but it's not pushed towards.
No, I think it's very liminal. Like, it's very obvious.
Superliminal,
like,
some might say.
Superliminal, yeah. I think, no, that stereotype definitely exists. I mean, it's just for good reason. It's like, has anyone seen Ronnie Cheng's new stand-up? He talks about it. He talks about how immigrant parents want their kids, to be in a good profession where they earn a decent money, and it just brings like respect or some shit like that to your family name or whatever. And I guess it's just, it just goes by that.
Not personally, like my family is pretty easygoing, but I do know that like it's a big thing in especially South Asian families to like kind of boast to other aunties and uncles about your kid's profession. Yeah. So it's like, if your son is doing well, or your daughter, God forbid, is doing well, then it's like that
is Rohit's view and not reflective of the podcast.
And it's big ups, So I feel like it's there, but maybe not so much in our circles, Western growing up.
Yeah, actually,
right,
I mean,
yeah,
Rohit jokes, but that's a stereotype in and of itself. The whole Asians prefer male, like boys, like sons over daughters. Like that's a thing as well. I don't know why that where that stems from.
That's why he brought it up.
No.
I'm defending Rohit here. I was trying to bail him out.
Thank you,
Defend his misogyny.
Well, the other two threw you under the bus. I tried to throw you a lifesaver as you went overboard.
All right, what's Ricardo's next one?
Cheeky. All right, so the last one he submitted is, no one knows the second verse of the Australian national anthem.
Oh, come on, Srikar.
We used to sing it at primary school.
I used to know it, but like when I read when he sent this in, I'm like, what is it? How does it start? I don't remember it anymore.
The thing is, if you actually...
Of course, you're going to have to auto-tune this podcast.
I thought it was Australians Rejoice, but never mind. I don't think I know the first verse.
No, the reason why they don't sing the second verse, because if you actually read the lyrics and look into it, it gets pretty racist. Like, they say there's some pretty dicey language in there. I think so. That's the reason why they kind of just sing the first verse.
I thought it was time reasons. Just cut it short. Because I remember like
You said the assembly's got to move on.
Rose being black completely whitewashed it.
is that not what it's for? Like don't handbrake the assembly. The show must go on.
What, an extra minute
I don't know.
to sing about the country?
Let me introduce you to colonialism, my friend.
All right, so those are the 3 that Streetcar submitted. We also got a few submitted from one of our American listeners, Trayvon, so shout out to you as well. So the first one he mentioned was fat people. So I asked him whether he thinks it's true or not, and he says, and I quote, "We have to get fat to fill up all of this space."
America.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
That's not, I feel like that's not the reason, if I'm being completely honest. But like, I do know that in America, there's obviously a lot of wide roads. People are driving like hundreds of miles, and you're not even in a different city. But Trayvon, my friend, I think a bit harder, my dear.
Isn't that the thing about America? Like everything in America is bigger. Like the food's bigger, your portions are bigger, the trucks are bigger, the people are bigger. Yeah, it's just par for the course.
I was waiting for a punchline there from you, Sandy. I'm not even.
That was just facts.
A few went through my mind, but I thought it would be in bad taste. I was going to say the protests are bigger.
I knew what you didn't have to say it, Sen. You didn't have to say it. All right, so the second one he submitted was school shootings. He says the school shooting stereotype is 100% true. I don't know if I want to touch this one, boys.
I mean, I can't comment. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not in America. I see what I see on the news, but I have to, also take things I see with a grain of salt. If Trayvon says it's true in his personal experience and he lives in America, then who am I to say otherwise?
Tell us how you really feel, Ro.
He saved himself from that previous one,
What do you mean? That was a very eloquent
in
speech.
defense mode.
Does your ass hurt from sitting on the fence that much?
All right, Sam, you give me. What's your opinion then?
What? School shootings?
No, what Trayvon said.
Do I think shooting kids is bad? Yes.
Not the question.
Does it happen? Yes. Is it going to stop happening? No. That's all you need to know.
Anyways, those are stereotypes submitted by our listeners. Boys, do we have any other stereotypes we want to talk about?
I have a couple. I have one in particular. I have a good story actually, which fits into this segment quite nicely. Any of you boys have any Irish friends?
Did you expect us to say yes?
I don't know. Just throwing it out. Yeah. Well, there we go. There we go. We're a diverse group of people. So there's the Irish stereotype that Irish like to drink a lot. And when I was overseas on exchange, I found that to be very, very true. So we went to, I was at the time when Oktoberfest was going on. So we took a bus, all these guys, and we went to Germany for the festival. Had a good time, like partied, whatever, did all the stuff, drank a lot of beer, passed out on hills, etc. Just getting in the culture, you know what I mean? And then we had a bus back home. So this is like a chartered bus from like a company. So we had to get on the bus. If you don't get on the bus, then you don't go home. So we're at 7 a.m. We get up, we hop on the bus. We meet some of his friends and they've got his phone and wallet, but he's not actually there. So the man, we realize 2 days later, he rocks back into the city of Maastricht. And we're like, where have you been? And he's like, I hitchhiked all the way from Germany to the Netherlands with no phone and no wallet.
That's
and the
insane.
man made it home.
That's respectable, to be honest.
That's a good story. I've got a similar experience as well. So a cousin of mine married an Irish bloke and they had an engagement party and there was a few Irish blokes there and I tried to go drink with them. It didn't end well. Like I drink casually. These guys drink full time. It's like it's literally just another occupation for them. They were just sinking back beers like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, this is maybe not just related to the Irish, but there was this other guy that I have at work who's like Jekyll and Hyde when he starts drinking. Like he's like the easiest going bloke I've ever met at work. And then give a couple of drinks and he turns into like Manny Pacquiao. Like he turns into...
Conor McGregor would have been the obvious joke there, you idiot. You're actually... Get this man off the podcast.
No, he mentioned the goat of boxing, mate. Allow it.
Yeah, exactly right. He turns in, he starts swinging left, right, good nights all day long. And we're at like a work event as well. So this is in America.
He sees the manager and just fucking sends it.
Dude, he's coming along. He's like had a couple of bevs and he's like talking about the CEO. He's like, if I see him, I'll slap him. If I see him, I will slap him. We're like, mate, calm down here, boss.
Surely you led him to the CEO.
Oh, that would have been the. I would have loved to see how that went down, but apparently not. So that's the stereotypes I have for the Irish.